Hey all, welcome to Homeschool and welcome back to the chapter Structure of Atom. And this is going to be a final session on a chapter where we are going to discuss about the so-called electronic configuration, which is a very important and basic concept of chemistry, where if you want to learn further aspects of chemistry, this is must and should. So here I am going to tell you everything about electronic configuration and how to write electronic configuration in an easier way and everything. See, before this we have completed the 5 videos where I have discussed about the quantum numbers. See, with the help of quantum numbers, we are actually writing electronic configuration. So if you have to understand this video, understanding of quantum numbers is must. If you want to watch that video, you can go to a description, click the link and get a detailed information about the quantum numbers. And we also discussed about the so-called orbitals, Bohr's model, electromagnetic radiation, spectrums, hydrogen spectrum and everything. So just have a clear information about those concepts also, and links are provided in the description. Okay, coming back to the concept, it is electronic configuration. So what is the use of electronic configuration? Why we have to learn the electronic configuration? Very important to learn this. It is because, in a particular atom, if you take sodium atom, how many electrons does sodium atom has? Definitely 11 electrons, isn't it? Atomic number of sodium is 11. So definitely it will have 11 electrons in it. So how are these 11 electrons arranged? In our previous video, we got an idea that electrons are present in orbitals. So where are these orbitals located? Inside the subshells. So where are these subshells located? Inside the main shells. So this idea of main shell, subshell, orbital, how many types of orbitals, all that is over in our previous session, isn't it? So we got to know electrons are present in the orbitals. And I already told you each orbital can have a place for only 2 electrons. So when you have 11 electrons in a sodium, so how are these 11 electrons are getting arranged in various orbitals that are present around the nucleus? So how are they rotating? So what is the address of 11th electron? What is the address of 9th electron? I mean, this 9th electron is present in which orbital, which main shell, which subshell and in which orbital? Definitely knowing this information is very important about each and every electron, right? It's because electrons are the one which are participating in chemical business, right? So, chemical reaction is a kind of business. Some elements give electrons, some elements take electrons, and that's how chemical attractions are formed. So giving and taking business of electrons is what a chemical reaction. Say when there are 11 electrons in a sodium, all 11 electrons will not participate in chemical reaction. Only few electrons will participate. And which electrons can participate? If you have to understand that knowledge, knowing electronic configuration is very important. So when you know the electronic configuration, you can clearly understand the nature of each and every electron. You can clearly say which electron can participate in chemical reaction, which electron do not participate, which electron has higher energy, which electron has a lower energy. Which particular atom is more stable, which atom is less stable. All these things you will only come to know when you know electronic configuration. So it's a very important thing to learn how to write electronic configuration for various elements or atoms. Clear? Fine. And I'll just revise the previous video's concept here because that is what we are going to use to write the electronic configuration. Say, as I already told you, there is a nucleus at the center, and around the nucleus there are many shells, right? This is the first shell, and this is our second shell, this is our third shell, and this is our fourth shell, and so on. Okay, and our first shell has only one subshell, right? Only one subshell, and that is our 1s. Yes, subshell is the only one present in our first shell. Okay, and yes, the subshell will have only one orbital. Okay, so electron have to present in this orbital only. Fine. Coming to our second shell. Second shell will have how many subshells? Definitely two subshells are present. One is S subshell and another one is P subshells. Yes or no? And how do you write this S subshell as? This S subshell belongs to second main shell, no? So we will write it as 2s subshell and 2p subshell. Okay, so again 2s subshell has only one orbital, that is 2s orbital, and 2p subshell has three orbitals. Px orbital is there, py orbital is there, pz orbital is there. Okay, so p subshell will have three orbitals, guys. Okay, so let me write them here. So it has three orbitals. One is px, other one is py, and the third one is pz. Right? Okay. And now coming to the third main shell. Third main shell will have three subshells. Right? They are 3s subshell, 3p subshell, and 3d subshell. So 3s subshell again has just only one orbital, and 3p subshell has three orbital, and 3d subshell has 5d orbitals. Okay, fine. And coming to the fourth main shell, it has four subshells. Okay, so what are the four subshells here? 4s, 4p, 4d, and 4f. Like this, four subshells are there. Clear? So, and here 4s subshell has only one orbital. Okay, and 4p subshell has 3p orbitals. 4d subshell has 5d orbitals, and 4f subshell has 7d orbitals. So this idea we have studied in a previous video. I gave you this idea in a previous video. If you want to watch this, please go through the link that is provided in a description. Fine, right? Fine. So this is the basic idea one must have before writing the electronic configuration. Clear? Fine. And now all these orbitals like 2s orbitals, and there are three 2p orbitals, 3s orbitals, all of them have certain kind of energy. These orbitals have a kind of energy. Okay, so electron always enters, the first electron if it has to enter. So where is the first electron present here? Say if an atom has like 3 electrons. Okay, imagine, let me take an element lithium. So our lithium has 3 electrons. So where is our first electron present? First electron always enters to the orbital which is having the least energy. I told you every orbitals here will have a certain energy. Okay, electrons always gets arranged. Okay, or electrons always gets filled up according to the increasing order of their energy. According to increasing order of orbitals energy. Okay, so here you must know which orbital has lesser energy and which orbitals have higher energy. Okay, always the first electron likes to enter into the orbital having lesser energy. Clear? Like that the electron filling takes place according to orbital's energy. So here we must understand which orbital has what energy. Okay, so how do you decide the energy of orbitals? So my question is, how do you decide the energies of orbitals? Okay, because deciding which orbital has what energy is very important, because our electron filling takes place according to increasing order of their energy. So why we have to learn this? It is because electron filling takes place in the increasing order of orbital's energy. Okay, so how do you decide the energies of orbital? It is by n plus L rule. Okay, you know what do you mean by n? N is nothing but principal quantum number. L is nothing but azimuthal quantum number. Okay, so now let us apply this n plus L rule for all these subshells. Okay, and let us find out like which subshell has how much energy, less energy or more energy. We are comparing energies of these subshells. The energies of subshells is nothing but energies of orbitals only. Clear? Fine. So what are the subshells we have? First subshell we have is 1s. Okay. Second subshell we have is, just go on putting 2s, 2p, and later 3s, 3p, right? 3d, right? 4s, 4p, like that. Right? This is the way I have arranged 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d. Only the subshells I have taken. Okay. Now I am finding n plus L value. So in this 1s, what is the n value? See, this indicates the main shell number, no? N is nothing but principal quantum number. Principal quantum number in the sense main shell's number. So here this 1 indicates that main shell, right? So what is the n value here? 1. And what is the L value? S indicates the azimuthal quantum number, subshell's number. Okay, L is equal to 0. We all very well know the concept that L is equal to 0 means S subshell. L is equal to 1 in the sense P subshell. L is equal to 2 in the sense D subshell. L is equal to 3 in the sense F subshell. Right. So here S in the sense what? S subshell means L value is 0. So 1 plus 0. So what is the N plus L value you will get here? 1. Okay, fine. In the same way, calculate N plus L value in 2S subshell. How much do you get? 2 plus again S. That is 0. So you will get a value 2. Okay. So like that, looking at this value, you can say which orbital or which subshell has more energy and which subshell has lesser energy. Just you have to compare the number. The number which is least. Okay, so 1 is lesser number, right? So that means this 1s subshell has less energy. Okay, so you will compare N plus L values here. Okay, so among 1 and 2, 1 is the least number. So the subshell which has got a least number will always have lesser energy. So electrons will like to enter in the orbitals which have lesser energy first. Once these orbitals are filled, then electrons will enter into the next subshell. Once the 2s orbitals are filled by the electron, then electron enters into the next subshell or next orbital with higher energy. Clear everybody? So this is how I mean to say electron filling takes place in the increasing order of orbital's energy. So by comparing these numbers, you will say which orbital has lesser energy and which orbital or subshell has more energy. Clear? So among 1s and 2s, which has lesser energy? 1s has lesser energy. So the first electron will try to enter into which subshell? It will try to enter into 1s subshell. Right? That's it. And now let us calculate N plus L value for 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d and 4s. Till 4s let us try to calculate. Okay. So what do you get here? 2. And L is equal to p. This indicates L value. This number indicates N value, right? So L value is P. P in the sense what? L is equal to 1, right? So 2 plus 1, 3 you will get. And here how much do you get? 3 plus S. S in the sense, you know, L value is equal to 0. So 3 plus 0, 3. So here for both 2p orbital and 3s orbital, you have got the same number. Okay, then how do you decide that which subshell has more energy? You will decide based on their principal quantum number. Okay, so the one which has less principal quantum number will have lesser energy. Say in this case, when you get same N plus L value, okay, then you have to consider principal quantum number. Okay, so among this is 2, this is 3 principal quantum number. 2 is lesser, no, so I can say 2p has lesser energy. Okay, the one which has less principal quantum number, lowest principal quantum number will have the lowest energy. So among the two, now which one has lowest energy? Definitely 2p has lowest energy. Both of them got 3, but we are selecting one with lowest energy. When you have got same number, then definitely you have to consider their principal quantum numbers. Okay, fine. So this is how N plus L values they have calculated, and they have arranged all the subshells in the increasing order of their energy. Okay, so and there is a person called Afbah. Who is that? Afbah. Okay, so he has given a principle. We call it as Afbah principle. What did Afbah do is, he calculated N plus L values of all subshells, and according to their increasing energy, you know, he arranged all the orbitals. Clear? And this is how we arranged actually. Okay, say if you can remember this, writing electronic configuration is very easy. Say in the first shell you have only one subshell, that is 1s, right? So in the second shell you have 2s and 2p, right? In the third main shell you have 3s subshell, 3p subshell and 3d subshell, right? In the fourth main shell you have 4s, 4p, 4d and 4f. Likewise in the fifth main shell also you will be having 5s, 5p, 5d and 5f, right? In the sixth shell 6s, 6p, 6d. So seventh one 7s, 7p, 7d, like that. Okay, only this much I'll mention. Okay, and now what did he tell is, say the first electron goes to 1s always, because 1s has the lesser energy. See, least N plus L value you have got. Least N plus L means this guy, this 1s subshell has lesser energy. That means the first electrons will always like to stay in 1s subshell. In the first main shell, first subshell, that is 1s is there, no? In that particular subshell, electrons would like to go always. Okay, so that's why first arrow mark you see, first electron is going to 1s, and later do like this. Okay, so next electron is liking to go towards 2s. So after 1s is completely filled, next electrons will go to 2s. Okay, and later observe carefully what I am doing. See, next after 2s orbital is completely filled up, the electrons will like to go to 2p subshell. After 2p, horizontally, I mean you come diagonally, you keep putting the arrow marks. Okay, so after 2p subshell, electrons will go to, see here 2p. After this 2p subshell is completely filled, electron will go to 3s orbital. Okay, see among 2p and 3s, again 2p will have least N plus L value, right? So 2p orbital will get filled up, and later 3s. And after that, don't show your arrow mark like this. You take it, this line is over, no? Now you go like this, you go like this, okay, and come. Okay, after 3s, who is getting filled up? 3p is getting filled up. Okay, so after 3p, 4s is also coming in the same diagonal point, right? After 3p, 4s will get filled up. Clear? And after that, your 3d will get filled up, later 4p will get filled up, okay, later 5s will get filled up, like this it goes on. Okay, after this again it goes on, later 4d will get filled up, you know, after that 5p will get filled up, you know. This is what we call it as AFBA principle. Okay, say for example the same thing I'll be arranging like this. See, first 1s subshell is getting filled up, after that 2s subshell is getting filled up, after that 2p subshell is getting filled up, and after that you know, after 2p 3s is getting filled up, and after 3s 3p is getting filled up, then 4s is getting filled up, right? After 4s 3d is getting filled up. Okay, like this he arranged all the subshells or all the orbitals in the increasing order of their energy. Okay, so AFBA principle is what? AFBA principle is nothing but arrangement of orbitals in the increasing order of their energy. Okay, so this only he has arranged, he has represented in the form of this pyramid like diagram. Okay, so this is only, we call it as AFBA principle. Clear everybody? So on what basis he has arranged all these orbitals in the increasing order of their energy? By calculating their n plus l values. Okay, so n plus l value he calculated. On the basis of this n plus l value, he could arrange, I mean the orbital which has got the less number is considered as having lowest energy. So on that basis he has given this building up of principle. Okay, so AFBA principle. Okay, so something like this he has arranged all the orbitals. Just if you must know how to do the AFBA principle. Just write first main shell 1s, second main shell 2s 2p, third main shell 3s 3p 3d are there. You know that. Like that you go on writing and show the diagonal arrow marks. So after this part is completed, go like this. Okay, don't show your arrow mark to 2s now. Just finish it off this line and then go like this and take a diagonal turn. Again finish it off this line, go like this and take a diagonal turn. Like that you go on coming, you will get correct order of increasing order of our subshells energy. Okay, fine. So now keeping this point in our mind, now let us try to write the electronic configuration of different elements. Clear? See, let us try writing the electronic configuration for at least 20 elements. Okay, and coming to the first element, that is you know, hydrogen, atomic number 1. That means how many electrons are there in hydrogen? Just 1 electron. So where will that 1 electron is located? You know what I told you, first the orbital with lesser energy will get filled up, right? 1s has least energy, and more like this is the increasing order of their energies. So 1s has lesser energy, first 1s orbital will get filled up, right? So what is electronic configuration we have to write? You are telling to the people that the first electron is there in 1s orbital, first main shell. Okay, first electron is always there in first main shell. Under that what is the subshell? 1s. And 1s has only 1 orbital, that is 1s orbital only, right? So in that 1s orbital there is 1 electron. See, this above the superscript digit indicates that electron is present in 1s subshell. Electron is present in first main shell. This indicates the principal quantum number. And in a first main shell, which subshell? Yes, subshell, the electron is there. Okay, so this is how we will write the electronic configuration. Okay, you must know what is this 1. 1 means what? First main shell, shell number. What do you mean by this S? S in the sense subshell. Where is this subshell present? Yes, subshell in the first main shell. So in that 1 electron is there. So this is what, like you are writing address of an electron. So electronic configuration is like writing the address for an electron. Which electron is there in which main shell, under that which subshell. You know, this is what we mean by address, right, for an electron. That's what, right? And you know, another way of writing electronic configuration is there. Say I can also write, say 1s orbital is only one, no? There is only one s orbital. That's why one box we can put, and we can mention the electron something like this, like this. Okay, not a complete arrow mark. You should not put this arrow mark. You have to mention electron like this. Okay, so this indicates that 1s orbital, there is only one s orbital in that first electron is there. Just putting one box and mentioning one electron. Okay, so this way of writing electronic configuration is called as orbital diagram. What do we call it as? Orbital diagram. Okay, but normally this way of electronic configuration only we will use. Okay, this can be used when you study some deeper aspects, then we will be using this. Okay, but try to understand this way of electronic configuration also. Clear? Fine. And next element is what? After hydrogen you have your element helium, right? So helium's atomic number 2. That means there are 2 electrons in the helium. So the first electron goes where? It goes to the first main shell only, 1s subshell only, right? So 1 electron, 2 electrons. So both the electrons are present in 1s orbital. Okay, each orbital have a place for 2 electrons, I said no. So you can fill this particular subshell with at least 2 electrons. So 2 electrons are there, both the electrons are present in 1s. I mean here, both electrons are happily present in this 1s orbital. 1s subshell that has only one orbital, no? So I am calling it as orbital only, right? So 1s orbital has 2 electrons. Now this has no place, right? The third electron, if present, it cannot stay in this orbital. It has to go to our 2s orbital. Okay, we will see that in the next element. And what is the orbital diagram you will put for this? Say one box. In one box you can put 2 electrons. One electron if you indicate like this, second electron you should indicate like this. Okay, what does this mean? It means the spin. Okay, it means that one electron is spinning in a clockwise direction, other electron is spinning in a anti-clockwise direction. It's like one electron spins in a clockwise, the other electron spins in anti-clockwise. That's why 2 opposite, like one if you represent one electron, if you represent like this, other one you will be representing like this, indicating that both will have different orientations, I mean different spins. Okay, fine. And coming to the third element, that is lithium. So lithium has 3 electrons. So where are the first 2 electrons will go? Definitely lithium also has first main shell, second main shell, third main shell. First main shell, it has 1s subshell. So the first 2 electrons will go to 1s subshell only. So 1s2, it is completely filled, and put comma. After one main shell is completely filled, you have to put comma. Now the third electron must go to 2s subshell, right? So in 2s subshell, how many electrons are present? Among 3, 2 you have already put in 1s. So 1 electron you have to mention under 2s. Clear? So what is the orbital diagram you will draw here? For 1s, one box. This is 1s orbital, 2 electrons are there. Okay, and for 2s, one box, because 2s orbital also is only one. 2s subshell also you have s subshell, no? So only one orbital you will find. Okay, so under 2s, how many electrons are there? One electron is there. Okay, so this is how. And now coming to next element is beryllium. Beryllium atomic number 4. So what is its electronic configuration? 1s orbital completely filled, and 2s orbital. 2s orbital also completely filled, because each orbital's capacity is 2 electrons, no? So maximum till 2 electrons you can show, right? Fine. So now what is the orbital diagram here? Orbital diagram is like 1s is completely filled, 2s is completely filled. And now coming to the next element, boron. Okay, atomic number 5. There are 5 electrons. Okay, and how do you show the address for 5 electrons? First 2 electrons are present in 1s, they'll go to 1s first, and later the electrons will go to 2s, and later one more electron is there, no, fifth electron, where it will go? It will go to 2p subshell. Okay, so 2p subshell. And what is the orbital diagram you will show here? You know, 1s, 2 electrons are there, and for 2s also one box you will show because 2 electrons are there. And for 2p, how many p orbitals I said? 3 p orbitals will be there, no? So that's why 3 boxes we have to draw, and here you have to show 1 electron. Clear everybody? Fine. And now 2p orbitals, okay, 2p subshell. 2p subshell, see 2p subshell will have 3p orbitals, right? Each orbital can have 2 electrons. So altogether 2p subshell can accommodate, it can have place for how many electrons? 6 electrons, because 2px can have 2 electrons, 2py can have 2 electrons, 2pz orbital can have 2 electrons. Altogether 2p subshell has 6. So till 6 electrons you can go on filling this 2p subshell. Okay, say for example carbon is there, atomic number 6 electrons. So first 2 electrons goes to 1s subshell, next 2 electron goes to 2s subshell, and you know how many remaining? 4 are over. 2 plus 2, 4. For 4 electrons we have given address. For 2 more electrons, where will they go? They will go to, after 2s completely filled, 2p only, right? 2p. 2p can have electrons till 6, right? 2p subshell. We are mentioning subshells here. So 2p subshells can have electrons till how many? 6. Till 6. Till you get to 2p6, you can go on using this 2p subshell, right? Okay. Now orbital diagram for this carbon, how do you draw? So this is here 2 electrons, this is 2s, 2 electrons, and 2p, 3 boxes we have to draw. And you see 2 electrons are there, no? This is the first electron, this is the second electron. Say you are not supposed to put second electron here as a pair up condition. Okay, second electron have to go here. Clear? Fine. And now coming to the 7th element, that is nitrogen. Its electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 2p, 3, right? What I told you, 2p subshell can be filled up to 6 electrons, because how many 2p orbitals are there? 3. Each one can accommodate 2. Like that, till you get 6, you can go on using that 2p subshell. So orbital diagram, 1 box, 2 electrons, 2s, 1 box, right? And 2p, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so like this, you are not supposed to pair up here. Once each orbital is singly paired, then for the 4th electron you have to show the pairing. Like I'll show it in the next element. See the oxygen. Okay, 8 electrons are there. So what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 4, right? So what is the orbital diagram you will show here? This is 1s, 2 electrons, this is 2s, 2 electrons, and p orbitals you see. See, 4, right? 4 electrons are there in p orbitals, no? So how many p orbitals? 3. So 3 boxes. See, the first electron here, second electron here, third electron here, 4th electron must pair up with the first electron. Each orbital can have 2 electrons, no? So 1 more electron you can put it in this box. But how will you put that 4th electron? Once each orbital is singly filled. Once each orbital has one electron, then only you should show this pairing up. Okay, so this particular rule only we will call it as Hund's rule. Say another rule is there, that is Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. So what does the Hund's rule says? Electron filling in p orbital should be there in such a way that each orbital should get filled singly, and then only pairing should start. Clear? So this particular concept is what we call it as Hund's rule. Clear? Say one more example. Let us see where you can clearly understand that Hund's rule. Okay. So let me write the electronic configuration for fluorine. Okay. So fluorine atomic number 9. So what is the electronic configuration? 1s orbital completely filled, 2s subshell also completely filled, and 2p will have 5, right? Okay, so orbital diagram, how do you draw? 1s 2 electron, 2s 1 box, and you will mention 2 electron, and 2p 3 boxes, right? So 5 electrons, you have 2 chances of mentioning 5 electrons. One is 1 2 3 4 5, right? You shouldn't write like this, okay? When you write no, you have to follow our Hund's rule. What is our Hund's rule? Each orbital should be filled singly with single electron first. Say 1 2 3. Okay, after each orbital is filled with a single electron, then if fourth electron is there, start pairing with the first one. See, 3 electrons. Now 2 more electrons, no. So this is our fourth electron, pairs with the first one, and this is our fifth electron, pairs with the second one. This is how you must write orbital way of writing electronic configuration. This is what we mean by Hund's rule. Okay, so each orbital should be singly filled and then pairing must start. Okay, so when you write orbital way of diagram, then you must follow the Hund's rule. Okay, clear? So that's all about our Hund's rule. Okay, so now coming to the next element, that is neon. Okay, so neon atomic number 10. What is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Now 2p subshell. 2p subshell's capacity is 6. So 2p subshell is completely filled now. Okay, fine. And now let me write it for one more element, that is sodium. Okay, atomic number 11 for sodium. For sodium I will show. So 1s2, 2s2, 2s orbital completely filled, and 2p6. Yes, how many electrons is over? 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 2, 10. So where will our 11th electron go? Do you mention here 2p7? No. P, 2p orbital's capacity, p subshell's capacity is only 6, right? So you are not, this 2p is completely filled now. Okay, 2p subshell is completely filled. Now the electron will go to 3s subshell. Okay, now the electron is going to the third main shell. Under the third main shell, among these subshells, which one has least energy? 3s has least energy. See, after 2p is completely filled, electron will go to 3s subshell. So it is s subshell. So here the 11th electron is present. Clear, everybody? So this is how you have to go on writing electronic configuration. Once the 3s subshell is completed, okay, now let us see atomic number. What is that? After sodium, what do you have? Magnesium, right? Atomic number 12. So, what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s2. Okay, now you see aluminium. Atomic number 13, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 completely filled. Now 13th electron, where will it go? After 3s, you will have 3p. So 3p subshell will get filled. And 3p's capacity is what? It's a p subshell, no? It will have a capacity of 6 electrons. Every p shell will have a capacity of 6 electrons. It may be 2p, 3p or 4p, whatever. Okay, every D subshell will have a capacity of 10 electron. Till 10 you can go on filling. Okay, every F cell has a capacity of 14 electrons. Okay, like that, just this order you have to follow, and you must know which subshell has how many electron capacity. 1s has only 2 electron capacity, 2s has 2 electron, S means 2 electron capacity, P in the sense you can use till 6 electrons, and D in the sense you can use up to 10 electron. Just this increasing order of subshells you have to go on follow and fill the electrons how many ever there in a particular element. Okay, so this is what we mean by writing electronic configuration. So here we got to know 2 important principles or rules. One is AFBA principle. AFBA principle is the one which has arranged all the orbitals in the increasing order of their energy. Electrons will get filled up in the orbitals or subshells in the increasing order of their energies only. Okay, and here when we are trying to write a orbital way of writing electronic configuration, we also got to know about the Hund's rule. Okay, so what is a Hund's rule saying? The orbitals like p orbital or d orbitals are 5, no? For d orbitals we put 5 boxes. Okay, for p orbitals we put 3 boxes, and it is said that each orbital is singly filled and later the pairing up starts, and this is what we call Hund's rule. Now one more principle is there, that is Pauli's exclusive principle. Let us see what is that Pauli's principle. Try to understand the definition of Pauli's principle first. Okay, so the definition says that no two electrons of the same atom can have all the quantum numbers same. So what do you mean by this definition? Okay, say for example, I will take for helium. What is the helium's electronic configuration? 1s2, right? So there are 2 electrons in this subshell. Let us write the quantum numbers for these 2 electrons. So how do you write the quantum numbers for these electrons? Okay, let me write it for the first electron. Okay, let me write it for the first electron here. Okay, so the first electron is there in which main shell? That means n is equal to 1 here. I'm writing quantum numbers. I'm writing address for the first electron. Okay, so what is the n value for first electron? That is, it is present in the first main shell. Principal quantum number n is equal to 1. And now what is the subshell? Subshell's number is 0. S subshell in the sense what? It is 0 subshell. Okay, L value is equal to 0. And now what is M value? When L is equal to 0, ML value is also equal to 0. Right? But what is the spin quantum number? Imagine one electron. This electron is rotating in a clockwise direction. If it is rotating in a clockwise direction, I write ms value is equal to plus half. Okay, so this is how I can give information about the first electron that is present in 1s subshell. Okay, so its n value, that is its main shell number is 1, its subshell number is 0. When L is equal to 0, ML is equal to 0, MS is equal to plus half. That means it is spinning in a clockwise direction. Okay, now let me describe my second electron. There are 2 electrons in this subshell, right? Let me describe my second electron also with the help of the quantum numbers. Okay, for the second electron, what is n value? N value is equal to 1 only, right? But that second electron also present in the first main shell itself. Okay, so what is L value? That second electron is also present in the S subshell. So L value is equal to 0. And when L value is equal to 0, ML value is also equal to 0. But can you get MS value also same for second electron? No, right? If one is rotating in a clockwise direction, see in a box, if one is rotating in a clockwise direction, other one is rotating in an anti-clockwise direction. For clockwise rotation, we indicate plus half. For anti-clockwise direction, we indicate the minus half. See, now you observe. Say which quantum numbers are same for both the electron? N value equal to 1, N value equal to 1. This quantum number is same. Here, this quantum number is also same for both electrons. This quantum number is also same for both electrons. But do you have same value for spin quantum number? One was having plus half, the other was having minus 2. This is what we mean by Pauli's principle. Now you read the definition. No 2 electrons. I mean, whenever you have 2 electrons in one subshell, they cannot have all the quantum numbers the same. At least one quantum number will be different. Okay, at least one quantum number is different. When both the electrons are present in the same orbital, they may have n value same, they may have L value same, they may have ML value same, but they cannot have MS value same, because if one rotates in a clockwise, the other rotates in a anti-clockwise. Okay, so they can have at least 3 quantum numbers same, but they cannot have the fourth quantum number same. Okay, so that is what the meaning of Pauli's exclusive principle. No two electrons can have all the quantum numbers same. Okay, two electrons will not have any two electrons if you take which are staying in a same subshell. Okay, they will not have all four quantum numbers same. Three quantum numbers can be same for both of them, but the last quantum number will be different, definitely. So this is what we call Pauli's principle. So what and all we have learned in today's session, we got to know how to write electronic configuration, and in the course of writing electronic configuration, we have learned three principles. Okay, one is AFBA principle, which is actually helps us to write electronic configuration because the electrons always enter in the subshells with least energy. So who has arranged all the subshells in the increasing order of their energy? With the help of that only we can write the electronic configuration, right? So that is AFBA principle. And later Hund's rule we studied, Pauli's rule we studied, and we have written electronic configuration of few elements. So remaining elements you can try, and if you have any doubt you can put it in a comment box and we will try to answer. Okay, say till 13th element I have shown the electronic configuration, right? And this is the homework for you. 14th element, that is silicon. Atomic number 15, that is for phosphorus, right? Atomic number 16, that is for sulfur, right? At least for these three elements, try writing electronic configuration and post it in a comment box. Okay, and let me check who will post the answers first in the comment box. Fine. So that's all about today's video. Hope you have got enough benefit out of my sessions on structure of atom. Guys, I actually have one super duper trick to write electronic configuration easily. Yes, this is the pattern we follow. Definitely this is what the main concept. But there are certain shortcuts to write electronic configuration easily. So such a shortcut also I have done. I made a video on that. And the link I will share in the description, where you can go click the link and watch that particular trick also to write the electronic configuration easily. Okay, so you have a link on writing electronic configuration easily. Don't forget to go and check in the description. Definitely you will enjoy that trick. Clear? So with this, I end my sessions and meet up with the next chapter. Till then, take care and do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in the easiest way and in a detailed way. Thank you so much.